Are we live? I think we are. We are live. What's up, my friend? Abbie here, and welcome to another Write With Me live stream. I'm so excited you're here. So happy to see all your smiling faces in the chat. First things first, tell me if you can see me and hear me okay. I have to make sure that everything's working properly. So let me know if you can see me. And welcome. I'm so glad you're here. If this is your first time on one of these live streams, then I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad you could make it. If you're not sure how this works, the way we do this is we do writing sprints. So we're going to do 3 sprints total, 3 writing sprints, 25 minutes on with a 5-minute break in between, 5 to 10 minutes. And during those breaks, I will be chatting with you guys. I answer some questions and we just chat about our stories. It's super chill, super fun. So I'm glad you're here. If you can't make it for the whole session, I hope that you will stay for at least a little bit of it, get some writing done. We're all in this together. It's a community effort. So it's awesome that you're here. I'm so glad that you have shown up for yourself, shown up for your creativity. We're going to get a lot of good writing in today. I'm excited. Okay, everyone can see me and hear me? Awesome. Fantastic. Yay. Tell me in the chat where you're tuning in from. I'd love to know where you are in the world. Usually we have writers from all over the world join these live streams, and it's so cool, so inspiring to see so many writers from all over the world. And so, yeah, let me know in the chat. Lots of different writers here today. Illinois, Canada, Germany, Ohio, Georgia, Texas, the UK, Spain, South Africa, Michigan, Florida, San Francisco. Awesome. You guys are amazing. I try to do these live streams usually at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, my time, Eastern time, because it seems like that's when the most time zones are awake. I've done them at other times of day as well. And I know that a lot of times there are a lot of writers who can't make it to the live because of the time zone differences, but I love being able to connect with writers from all over the world, even in different time zones. So I try to make sure that I'm doing these at a specific time where a lot of you amazing writers in different time zones are able to join. So I'm so glad you're here. Okay, so we're going to get started in a few minutes, and I'm going to set up my timer on my iPad so you can watch that. But first, tell me what you're working on today. Tell me in the chat what you're going to be working on. I know some of you are working on novels. Some maybe are working on editing projects or revisions, maybe a short story or a screenplay, or maybe you're just working on homework. Totally okay. You can use these sprints as study sessions as well. So the point is to show up for yourself, to stay focused on the task at hand, and to have fun doing it. So I am going to be working on something kind of fun today because I have some exciting news. I haven't even announced this to anyone else yet. You guys are the first ones to hear this. I just sent my Lighthouse book manuscript to my editor literally a few hours ago. It was so exciting, so amazing, like such a relief to finally hit send. And it's off to my editor, and it's a huge relief, but it's also like a little bit of a, it's like one of those hurry up and wait things. Like I was rushing to get to meet this deadline, and now it's like, okay, I did it. Now what? so it's interesting, but I'm trying to just kind of get back into the flow of enjoying some writing, some leisurely writing on a different project. That's what I'm doing this afternoon because it's kind of a stormy, cloudy day outside. And I have this lovely London fog that Kate, my sister, just made me. So I'm going to just try to celebrate this milestone of sending my manuscript off to my editor. And I'm so excited because I am really excited to share this one with you guys. And it's coming this year. So for those of you who are wondering when I'm going to publish, I'm aiming for autumn of this year, but I can't give out any specific dates yet. but it's really exciting. I'm very, very stoked to share this book with you. So progress is being made. It feels like a really big step in the publishing direction, especially since I can't even remember when I started writing this book, but it was years ago. I think it might have been in 2020 I started writing it. So yeah, it's been a long road, and I'm really excited to share it with you guys. So thank you for all the love and encouragement you've sent my way on this book. I appreciate your patience and your support as I get this book ready to share with the world. Okay, awesome. So let's get started on our first sprint. So many writers from all over the world writing so many different projects. It's so cool to see. I'm going to set up my timer for 25 minutes, and then let's see if I can set this one up so that it actually makes a noise and I can hear it. That's always the difficulty. Okay. Thank you guys so much for all the encouraging words about my book. I'm so excited about it. Oh, one more exciting thing before we get started. You guys probably noticed that, I don't know if I can see it from here, but I'm like we are super close, like tiny margin close to hitting 300,000 people in this community, in the Writer's Life Wednesday community. And that's just amazing to me. It is mind blowing, and I'm so grateful for that. And I wanted to see if we could reach 300K while we're on this live stream. Can we do that? I wonder. I'm curious. Let's try to do it. So anybody watching this live stream right now, if you are not subscribed to this channel, hit the subscribe button. I want to see if we can get over 300,000 on this live stream, because if we do, I will just be so excited. I will be doing a happy dance, and and it'll be awesome to be able to celebrate with you guys live as this number ticks over to 300,000. So if you're not subscribed, hit subscribe. And actually, I can open in a new window, because I don't know if I can see it from here, but I can open my channel in a new window and see when this happens. It's going to be cool. It's going to be amazing. And I really want it to happen while I'm on the live stream so that I can celebrate with you guys. So cool. Okay, so I'll leave that open, minimized. And let's get into our first writing sprint. I'm going to set my timer for 25 minutes, and then we will chat about stories and answer questions. Sprint number 1 is done. So how did it go? Let me know in the chat. Just trying to think of the right word for this sentence. It's kind of a slow writing day over here, but that's okay. All words are good, even if they need work later, because as I always say, you can't edit a blank page. You can only edit what you've written, and editing is really where the magic happens. So the point is to just get the words out of your system. So let me know how it went in the chat. If you want to share your word count, feel free. Definitely not compulsory though. I saw a few questions coming in. First, let's see if we reached 300,000. Not yet. We're close. We're close. If anyone's watching this and you haven't hit that subscribe button, hit the subscribe button. I want to see if we can get over 300,000 while we're on this live stream. Okay. I saw a couple questions. One was from M. What genre is the book you're writing? I am currently, right now, I'm working on a book project that I'm kind of just slow-paced writing whenever I feel like it. And it's a historical fiction, historical mystery story. And I talked about it briefly like last year, I want to say, probably during one of my live streams, but I made a video that was like silently making Pinterest aesthetic boards for my books. And in that video, this was the project that I was making Pinterest boards for. So if you want to like know what it's like, you can watch that video and see the aesthetic of it. But it's fun so far. It takes place in the 1920s in England, and it's really been quite fun and interesting to write. So yeah, just kind of playing with that today. Enjoying playing in the playground of this story. Let's see. So I'm going to answer a few questions. I apologize for the lawnmower noises. If you like lawnmower ASMR, then feel free to keep the volume up. Otherwise, you can always turn the volume off when we get back to our writing sprint. Okay, hopefully they'll be done in a few minutes. But in the meantime, I'm going to answer some questions. This one is from the admin. How do you stay motivated while writing draft 2? That's a good question. It's hard to stay motivated sometimes because the road of editing and revisions is such a long road. It is a huge undertaking. So it's definitely something that you have to be patient with yourself doing, and try to enjoy the journey as much as you can. What helps keep me motivated during draft 2 is just remembering why I love the story and also finding new ways to make it more enjoyable for myself. So whether that is maybe adding something that is new for this draft, or maybe changing some things about the story that make it more interesting, you can kind of use the same guideline really as my brainstorming video that I just came out with. If you're like bored with it and you feel like it needs a little something extra, you could try adding something extra to it. But other than that, I think it's really just a matter of remembering why you love it and just staying motivated as far as like enjoying the journey, enjoying the process and not getting too overwhelmed by the long-term, like the big picture, because the big picture can be overwhelming if you're like thinking too much about deadlines and timelines and stuff like that. So try to just focus on like what's the next thing and do that. Let's see. Someone else has a lawnmower outside too. Okay, I don't feel so alone. What are your best tips for balancing writing and school? That question's from Katya. It's really like balancing anything else and writing, is that you have to kind of just take a step back, look at your schedule, as if it was somebody else's schedule and you're trying to advise them on how to make time for themselves. You probably would end up advising them to maybe say no to certain things that end up taking their time, and say yes to writing whenever you can. So maybe those things are just little commitments that add up over time, but try to look at your schedule from like a third person perspective, I guess, and see like where do you realistically have opportunities to take some of that free time that might be used on other things right now and use it for writing. I know it's really difficult, especially if you have a really busy academic life and or working as well. But even if you don't have time to do more than one day a week, like try to find some level of consistency and then commitment to that consistency, even if it's a little bit of consistency each week, because it doesn't have to be a lot in order to make progress. And take the time when you're doing other things. If you're doing like any other activity that you don't really need to be fully concentrating on, just take that time to think about your story and enjoy like playing with the different ideas you have for the story. So that's part of the writing process for me. And I think for a lot of other writers as well, a lot of the process is just coming up with the ideas, sitting there staring out the window, thinking, and you can do that not necessarily at your desk. You can do that other times during the day. So find opportunities, maybe when you're getting ready or commuting or walking your dog or something, that you can really just immerse yourself in the story and let your imagination run wild. And that will help you make progress on your writing, even when you're not sitting at your desk writing. This has helped me so tremendously in my writing life, and I honestly would be lost without this. Like, it's so much a part of my writing process that I wouldn't be able to write the same way if I didn't do this. So find opportunities to do that, and then find opportunities in your schedule where maybe you're saying yes to some things or committing to some things that you could say no to and make more time for writing. I also have a video about making more time for writing that you can check out. I posted that kind of recently. Let's see. I'm going to answer 2 more questions for this break, and then we're going to get into our next sprint. Let's see. This is a good question from Kayla. How do I know when a scene is too long? I feel like some of my scenes are too long. How would you condense them? Do you have any tips? This, I'm a very long-winded writer, so I completely understand. What I would recommend is not so much looking at the length of it, like, is this too long, but asking yourself, did I accomplish what I needed to accomplish in this scene? And really look at it from the perspective of what is like the need to know information, and then what's the emotional journey that the characters are going through in this scene. Basically, what matters. Okay, what matters in this scene, and did we focus on everything that mattered, or did we get distracted with some like fluffy things or things that don't matter, or did we take too long on one particular element of this scene where it could have been condensed into a shorter explanation of something. And I know all of this is very subjective, so you kind of have to look at it depending on what the scene is specifically. But what I always try to do when I'm going into a scene and I'm not sure, like, okay, how do I make sure I don't get out of hand with this and make this like way too long, is I just make myself a short like bullet point list of what needs to happen and what needs to be communicated in this scene or this chapter, and try to communicate that in an emotional and effective way, but to the point. Okay, so not too much fluff, not too much long-winded explanation. If something can be communicated in fewer words and still communicated powerfully and emotionally, that is good writing. That is the mark of mature, seasoned writing, that you can look back at your work and see, okay, this could be condensed, this could be more powerful and shorter. that's something definitely to be aware of, that I think will help you a lot. Super chat came in. Thank you so much from Srishti. I hope I'm saying your name right. Hi, Abbie. I've listened to your books on Audible and loved them. Is it possible to buy signed hardcover copies from you? If so, how? Thanks for all you do. Thank you so much. That is so kind. I'm so glad that you enjoyed the audiobooks of 100 Days of Sunlight and The Best Christmas Ever, if you listened to that one as well. I do some signed hardcover specials sometimes on my website, usually around like the holiday season. But if you send me an email, we might be able to work something out for this instance. So send me an email at authorabbiemmons@gmail.com and we'll see what we can do about that. But thank you so much. I'm so happy and so grateful that you enjoyed the audiobooks. That means so much to me. I poured a lot of heart and soul and time into making those audiobooks, so it always makes me so happy when a reader tells me that they really enjoyed them. So thank you. Okay, so let's get into the next sprint. And after that sprint, I will answer more questions. Okay, so again, let's try to get up to 300,000 while we're on this live stream. We're so close, guys. We're 5 subscribers away. It's so exciting. We're totally gonna hit it. So 5 more people need to hit that subscribe button, and then we will hit 300K, and I will be freaking out. Let's try to do that. Okay. But first, let's not get distracted. Let's get into our next writing sprint. I'm gonna set this timer up. Set this one up as well. Okay, let's go. was sprint number 2. Finished. How did it go? Let me know in the chat. Hopefully it went well. I'm slowly making progress with this scene. Just kind of seeing where it takes me. But the sun came out. How cool is that? I thought it was going to be like cloudy all day, but it's looking really beautiful now. I actually can't even see any clouds anymore. That feels like a metaphor or something. Okay, so tell me in the chat how your writing sprint went. And let's see this channel count again. We did it! Guys, we did it! That is so awesome! 300K! Do you guys see that? Oh my gosh. Refresh your screens if you haven't seen that. Like, I don't know if it updates automatically, but that's what I'm looking at right now. 300K. It's so exciting! Thank you guys so much. We would not have been able to hit that if I hadn't mentioned it, and if you guys had it all pulled together and subscribed to this channel. So I'm so grateful for that. So happy. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness. 300,000 strong. That is incredible. It's amazing what this community has become over the years. I'm so excited to see how far we've come and where this is going. It's going to be amazing. I have so many ideas for so many new projects, new videos, new books, and I honestly can't foresee ever not having ideas and not wanting to expand this channel and grow it in new ways. So I'm really excited for the future, and I'm so grateful to you guys for all the support and all of the love that you've shown this community and this channel. And I just, no words. I cannot thank you enough for that. Literally, there are no words. So thank you guys so much. Okay, so we're gonna have a little break and I'll answer some questions and then we'll get into our third final writing sprint. Okay, awesome. Yeah, can't wait for 500K. Yes, that's next. That's next. Let's see, a super chat came in during that sprint, so I'm gonna jump back to that. It was from Stephanie. Thank you so much, Stephanie, for the super chat. So kind of you. You said thoughts on a ghostwriter fired for saying you are not gifted enough to write your own book, then begs to be rehired as a coach, making you feel discouraged, and then insisting on being on your neck persistently so that you make progress faster. So based on what you said there, it sounds like just not a good scenario. It sounds like probably you need to just let this person do their own writing thing and you do your own writing thing, and don't worry so much about being coached or getting honestly anybody else's advice at this stage of the game. Like, you need to just find your own style, enjoy the process, enjoy writing. And if you are interested in ghostwriting, or if that's what you're pursuing, go ahead and pursue that. It's really a matter of practice, time, and finding people who are close to you, who honor your craft and who have respect for the direction you're taking, and they understand the mission you're on and where your heart is, and they want to see you succeed. So people like that are always going to give you constructive, healthy feedback. They're not going to be criticizing you or putting you down or like breathing down the back of your neck, like you're saying. They are going to be supportive and encouraging, but try to push you to do your best. So find those people. It might take a long time to find those people, but once you do find them, keep them close, and also just remember to run your own race. And you know, the way you write or your writing style might not be everybody's cup of tea, and that's okay, because we all have different preferences, and you just need to focus on your own journey and enjoy the process, and then find those trusted people that can give you valuable feedback, who want to see you succeed. So hopefully that answers your question. I thank you again for the super chat. Okay, let's answer a few others. Let's see. This question's from Joseline Penn. This will be in two parts. How would one write a character with multiple misbeliefs? Do you write a story for each book focusing on a different misbelief, or one story where the different misbeliefs are overcome at different points in the story? Honestly, it could be either one. And I love writing multiple misbeliefs in the same story, even in the same book, because it just gives your story those different layers of depth and emotion and meaning. And I think you can definitely have a character who goes on a journey and learns multiple truths or has multiple misbeliefs that they then overcome. That can definitely happen in the same book. But if you feel like you have too much, like too many different focuses on this, like, well, I want to focus on this, but I also want to focus on this, and I feel like it's too much to fit in one book, then maybe it is meant to be two separate books. So that's something to consider. And maybe if you're writing a series, this is especially good for series writing, taking a character and then finding different misbeliefs for them to overcome throughout the series, and each book kind of focuses on a new one. But also the fatal flaw that they started with can come back up to create obstacles for them in different ways. So it can kind of play with different ways to do this, but I would definitely recommend, if you feel compelled to write multiple misbeliefs, definitely go with it. Try it, see what happens, and you can always take more time by extending it into another story, another book, another narrative. But a lot of times, multiple misbeliefs will fit really well together. In fact, even this book that I just sent to my editor, there are several characters who have layered misbeliefs, and how they go on their internal journeys, they end up kind of overcoming these different beliefs, but they're kind of nuanced and layered. And if you wrote them all out in a list, I think you probably find that each character has multiple misbeliefs. So it's something that kind of just happens on its own. Um, Try not to restrict yourself from not doing it if you feel compelled to do it, but also give yourself space if you need that. So hopefully that answers your question. True Sunshine asked, what app or website do you write on? I am writing with Scrivener, and Scrivener is my number one go-to favorite writing app of all time. And I've talked about it in many videos, which you can find on my channel. But yeah, I love Scrivener. I love everything about it. It's just fantastic writing software, and I couldn't recommend it enough. But I also know a lot of writers who write in Google Docs, and I want to make a video soon about writing in Google Docs and just different ways to kind of streamline that process and even make it feel a bit more like Scrivener. So that's something that I've been thinking about doing. Let's see. Let's answer two more questions and then get into our final sprint. Oh, super chat just came in. Thank you so much from Rosalie. Congrats on 300K, and thank you for inspiring me in my own writing. I can finally say that I am a paid author. It feels incredible. Awesome. Thank you for all that you do in the writing community. That is so cool, Rosalie. I'm so happy for you. You should be so proud of yourself. And I'm humbled and honored and so grateful that you have gotten inspiration and help out of my videos and this channel. It's amazing. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so glad you're part of the community. And thank you for the super chat. Let's see, this one is from Clara. Thank you, Clara. Question, how do you find a fear and desire that are not just the opposites of each other? So this can be tricky sometimes because, yeah, the fear and desire can sometimes be opposites of each other, like, fear of, or a desire to be loved, and then a fear of losing love. Like that can be very easily, like, kind of predictable sometimes. But I think the best place to start for this is not so much with the fear, like how do I find desire and fear that aren't opposites of each other, but going back to the fatal flaw or the misbelief. and that being the root of both those things. So starting with the misbelief and the fatal flaw being at the heart of this character, how does that create their fear, and how does that create their desire? So I'm trying to think of an example here. Like let's say your misbelief is, I only feel worthy if I am successful and if other people have celebrated my success and I'm like acknowledged as being a successful individual on whatever scale that may be. Then my desire that comes from that, my fundamental desire is to be successful and to be acknowledged. But my fear might not necessarily be as simple as not being successful or being a failure. It might be something more specific, like public humiliation, or something that's more directly tied to what your character is actively pursuing. So maybe they're actively pursuing a thing, and the fear that's getting in their way, that's stopping them, is more connected to their misbelief, in that it's connected to their feeling of unworthiness. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's not so much like I'm afraid of failure, because everyone's kind of afraid of that on some level. It's more connected to, why do they already feel like they are a failure, right? Because it's kind of like the fear, the thing you're trying to avoid, is actually fundamentally sort of your flaw and what you're already afraid you are, you know, in most cases. And so it's kind of a process of overcoming that fear and understanding that you actually aren't your fear. You are in a place where you can change your beliefs and you can change what you have come to accept as true. And I know that sounds like kind of abstract and conceptual, but hopefully this makes sense. And I have more videos on my channel explaining the different desires, fears, and misbeliefs. But another good place to start would be the Enneagram. I've recommended that before, and that's really good for starting with building conflicted characters, because it gives you kind of a unique perspective on different personality types and how different personalities process their fears, their goals, their fundamental needs. And those aren't always direct opposites of each other. And if they seem like opposites at first, once you start digging deeper into it, you'll see that there are lots of layers and nuances to explore there. So always, bottom line, always tying it to the character's fatal flaw, and preferably specifics. So specifics in their backstory of where that fatal flaw or that misbelief came from. And then from there, seeing what happens. And even if your fear and your desire end up being just direct opposites of each other, that's okay. Like, it's totally okay. It doesn't have to be like, well, that seems so predictable that it's direct opposites of each other. For a lot of people, that is the case. So it all depends on your character, it depends on your story, but just try to explore different things and see what feels best for you. Okay, so hopefully that helps. Okay, I feel like I've been talking for a long time, so I'm gonna answer one more question, then we're gonna get into our third writing sprint. This question is kind of also about the misbelief from Ultra Joe. If you have one misbelief, how do you make it a series? My recommendation with that would be, start with the one misbelief that you have with this character for book one, and then see where it takes you. Because as this character goes on a journey throughout book one, what you'll probably end up finding is that they collect new misbeliefs along the way. And throughout their journey, they go through experiences that force them to understand new things about themselves, or maybe create new situations in their lives that create more internal conflict. So what we go through creates internal conflict. It's like the external conflict, and then our response to it creates more internal conflict. So I think you'll find that by the end of book one, you'll have no shortage of internal conflict, because your character will have had to overcome lots of obstacles, but also be faced with tough decisions and forced to confront their own misbeliefs, their own fears, their own flaws. And then from there, you'll find that more conflict spirals out of that. And that's what I've found anyway in the series that I'm working on with my sister, is that I've had no shortage of internal conflict. And I was worried about that at first because I'm like, I have an internal conflict for this character for this book, but I'm not sure what's going to happen with the next book. And then I found with the next book, it was just there. It just was perfectly set up in the first book, and the end of the first book was a springboard to the second book, and the second book to the third book. And I think you'll find the same thing with series writing. It's really fun to explore that. So hopefully that helps. Let's get into our third and final writing sprint. Set my timer up again. Okay. Boom. Sprint number 3 is done. Wow, guys, amazing job. Hopefully that third and final writing sprint went well for you guys. I didn't write a ton today, but I'm glad that I got a few pages in and got this chance to just kind of hit the pause button on all of the busy projects that I've had going on and just take a moment to relax and enjoy the process of writing. I feel like I have not had much time to do just some playful creative writing. So it was wonderful to be able to do that today and to have you guys join me for this. I always love these live stream writing sessions because I feel like there's just more creativity in the community all coming together and being creative together. It's so cool. So inspiring. So thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you got a lot of productivity out of it. I hope you enjoyed your writing session, and I wish you the best of luck with your writing projects. Thank you guys again for 300K. I'm so excited about that. So amazing. And I'm just so grateful to you guys for being here, being part of the community, and helping to make this community an amazing, not just an amazing place for writers to hang out, but also an amazing source of inspiration, creativity, and just good stories. The world needs more good stories, and we are coming together to create those stories, and it's so exciting. It's amazing. So thank you guys for being here. Thank you for being a part of the community, and I hope that you will join me for the next Write With Me live stream. I'm going to be doing a live training soon as well, next weekend I'm aiming for. So stay tuned for that. I'm going to be putting out a video about that soon. Really excited for that as well. And until then, I have some other stuff, exciting stuff planned that I'm working on, but my head has just been totally in getting the Lighthouse book ready. And like I said at the beginning of this live stream, I've just sent that off to my editor. So progress is being made on that book. I'm super excited to publish it and share it with you guys. I can't even explain how excited I am. It's going to be amazing. So yeah, stay tuned for that, and updates on that coming soon. Live training, all the good stuff coming at you guys very soon. But thank you for being here, and I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day and enjoy the rest of your writing day. If you are continuing to write, I wish you the best of luck, and I will see you next week. Okay? Until then, rock on.